shifting our focus to another big story that we're tracking very closely. Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has once again stepped up his warning against India over the Indus Waters Treaty. Sharif has said that India's decision to suspend the treaty is unacceptable and called every drop of Pakistani water a red line. He also warned that Pakistan will respond if India does not change the stance on this. Here's more on what he has said as far as this latest attack is concerned. Akanksha Swaroop is joining us live on the broadcast with more details. Akanksha, once again, Pakistani Prime Minister stepping up the attack against India, giving warning as far as the Indus Waters Treaty is concerned. Put this into perspective.
Right. Akanksha, we must keep in mind that this kind of narrative or the kind of jingoism and chest thumping is not new to the Pakistani Prime Minister. Moreover, after India and the External Affairs Ministry have made it consistently clear that India's stance will remain the same as far as the Indus Waters Treaty is concerned. It will remain in abeyance irrevocably and credibly, even more so till Pakistan does not abjure itself from its support that it gives to terrorism. Remember, the treaty went into abeyance after what India has discovered during the investigations post the Pahalgam terror attack, in which India lost 26 civilians, and India put this treaty in abeyance. And there has been no mention about how Pakistan continues to harbor terrorism, especially that has been perpetrated by terror outfits like the Lashkar-e-Taiba. And so it would be interesting to see how the Indian External Affairs Ministry would be responding to this kind of an attack. More importantly, India is using this as a diplomatic measure to tighten the noose around Pakistan, even more so after India stopped sharing water level data of its 3 eastern rivers, which happened to come into our front. And it was only because of India's timely warnings during the monsoon season that Pakistan would be able to conduct timely evacuations, and that is not happening. So the noose is tightening around Pakistan. They are very much buckling under the pressure, as you can already make that out by the kind of narrative we are seeing the Pakistani Prime Minister resorting to on the eve of their Independence Day. In what's also seen as sycophancy, the Pakistani Prime Minister has again thanked the US President for mediating the war between India and Pakistan last year. In fact, the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has also congratulated Pakistan on the eve of its Independence Day and spoken about how the cooperation when it comes to regional mediation, critical minerals and their economy will continue. So this is also to do with making a point as far as the United States is concerned. But the fact of the matter remains that there's no stopping India from placing the Indus Waters Treaty in abeyance. It will continue to do so.
Absolutely. And India's stand is that Indus Water Treaty will remain in abeyance until Pakistan ends the support for cross-border terrorism. Thanks so much, Akanksha, for getting us all those details. I'm also joined by Major Samar Paltur, defense expert. Thank you so much, sir, for connecting with us. What do you think has been the trigger for this warning that has once again come in from Pakistan? Pakistani Prime Minister has stepped up the attack and the warning against India over the Indus Water Treaty. But the stand by India has been quite clear. What do you think has been the trigger?
Well, the trigger has been that, it's been so many months that the water has been stopped. Their agricultural produce has actually taken a hit. There are rivers in Pakistan which are, their water levels have dropped so low that people can almost walk across these rivers with just water up to their height of their knee. So basically, they are losing out on water. By the time the winters arrive by this year, probably these riverbeds are going to dry up. And then probably the next season, once the winters are over, is actually when they will be hit with drought. But to counter this, there has been a lot of activity and deployment at Sir Creek, which is also called Ban Ganga. So this is the 96-kilometer long stretch where they have been actually deploying their forces, their on Sir Creek side, targeting basically the industrial hub of India. So the intelligence agencies, the military intelligence of India, we are having eye on this region of Bhuj and the area adjoining Bhuj and Kot Lakhpat. So probably in the coming months, it will be more clear. If they increase their deployments, that means they have a sinister plan to get at India because of the Indus Water Treaty and the pressure they will be facing because of the abeyance of it.
Absolutely. And Pakistan's water worries are growing as water levels continue to fall, adding to the pressure there on the government in Islamabad. Thank you so much, Major Samar Paltur, for putting that into perspective. And now moving on and shifting our focus to Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Breaking updates coming in from Rawala Court in PoK, where 2 people we are learning have reportedly been injured in firing by Pakistani forces during the protest. According to the latest information that has emerged from PoK, firing continues as the park rangers targeted the civilians there. So in the latest, we're learning that 2 their civilians have been injured in the fresh firing that has been reported in Rawala Court. A fresh round of firing that has been reported there in PoK. Akanksha Swaroop continues to be live with us. Akanksha, do give us more details about the situation there in PoK at this point in time.
Right, Akanksha, it has to be kept in mind that the Shehbaz Sharif government is currently on shaky ground, as you were discussing with our honourable guest also about how they are buckling under pressure to deliver. We are also seeing how they have carried out cosmetic exercise when it comes to the elections that India's External Affairs Ministry has also completely condemned as a cosmetic exercise. So what you are seeing right now in terms of the kind of violence and the state conducted orchestration brutality on all of these protesters in the latest round, as you rightly highlighted, has taken place in Rawala Court. The fact of the matter remains that India has been urging the international community to demand greater accountability from Pakistan authorities, because remember, these are protesters who are innocent. They are only demanding their basic civic and human rights and their political and economic rights, and all they are in fact getting are communication blackouts, bullets. The Pakistani government and authorities are constantly and consistently resorting to suppression and repression of their voices, and that is continuing unabated, with Rawala Court becoming the epicenter. Most importantly, Akanksha, we've seen how close to 100 people have died. The JAC has made it an international issue of concern, with these Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir people also taking to the protesting outside the high commissions of Pakistan, whether in Europe or say even the UK. In Belgium, we've seen such protests being conducted by Kashmiri diasporas, and we'll have to see if the international community, particularly the UN, which has already condemned this kind of use of unfair, brutal force in PoJK, what has the United States and the Trump administration got to say about it, that too on Pakistan's Independence Day.
Absolutely, and very important what you just mentioned, and this shows the gravity of the situation. Pakistan security forces have been accused of killing between 80 to 90 people during the protests and clashes that we've been witnessing. Thank you so much, Akanksha, for putting that into perspective. With this, a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.